Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be an overview slash review on the Henry Rose fragrances. I have had the Discovery set for about 2 months now, and I have tried all 11 fragrances and I have thoughts for you guys. So before further ado, if you guys are new to my channel, welcome. But this is going to be a lengthy one, so sit tight, grab a coffee. I have my water because I've already had 2 cups of coffee today, and that's my maximum. Otherwise, I'd be crawling up the walls. Yes. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna try to keep this as short and quick as possible because there are 11 fragrances, so we're gonna be here for a while. All right, so the first thing I want to let you know, Henry Rose is sold at Bergdorf's Goodman. I don't know why I can't pronounce ever that department store correctly, but there it is. Credo Beauty, Neiman Marcus, and Nordstrom. So this is an all clean fragrance line that was founded by Michelle Pfeiffer. She is one of the most amazing actresses out there, and if you don't know who she is, I need you to stop. Just stop this video, okay? Or put me on pause. I don't care what you do. You go on Netflix, okay? And you pull up a Michelle Pfeiffer movie. I mean, one of my favorite ones is Catwoman. Listen, there will never be another Catwoman like Michelle Pfeiffer. I said it. It is what it is. Okay, I digress. Anyways, she came up with this fragrance line, which was actually really difficult for her to do because most labs they didn't want and couldn't. There was a lot of limitations that went into that from several interviews that I've seen. They couldn't really hone in on what she wanted to do. And most of them didn't want to. So it's amazing like what beauty trends do. Once clean became a trend, then these labs were kind of willing to work with her. That's what I was able to kind of collect from the interviews I've watched. But anywho, this is a clean fragrance brand, which means that if you guys are wanting fragrances that are completely clean, no toxic chemicals whatsoever, a very clear and transparent list of ingredients, Henry Rose is for you. Now, you guys know, if you've been following me for a long time, I have a lot of fragrances and they are not clean, okay? How did I come across Henry Rose? Well, I was dabbling into some Westman Atelier products, and an interview with her for some reason popped up in my feed, and I just decided to watch it. And I didn't know that she had her own fragrance line. And so I started to dig deeper into it, and I ended up purchasing the Discovery set. This is not an unboxing. I kind of just want to show you how this comes. This retails for $45, and you get you get 11, all 11 fragrances in like a little sample size. And so it comes in a cardboard box, and this is what you see when you open it. And on the inside it says, "You shouldn't have to sacrifice quality for safety. Michelle Pfeiffer, founder. Hashtag hide nothing, henryrose.com." So she prides herself on being extremely 100% transparent with the consumer as to what's inside her fragrances. And so you get like this all sustainable recyclable tissue paper, and on the inside you get your little box. Again, this is just a cardboard box. It has Henry Rose embossed in black, and when you pop this open, you get the same message on the inside as you do the bigger box, and you get your 2 little coffrets with your samples, okay? So I'm gonna pull these out for the purpose of this video. You on the website, you have the option of purchasing just one of these. So you can purchase a discovery set with just half of the amount of fragrances. You don't have to get all 11, okay? And they are split up for you. So you can kind of go through the notes and see which discovery set kind of matches more your style of fragrance and just purchase one instead of purchasing both. Again, you can just recycle all of this. But with my purchase, because I wanted free shipping, you also get like tissue paper on the bottom. So it comes a very well packaged where your fragrances are not going to be damaged. And you can literally just take out your stuff and just throw all of this in your recycling bin. I love that. You guys know I love convenient recycling. I'm not here. Where I live, I don't have to like break down the boxes or anything like that. I can literally just throw it in this recycling bin and off it goes. And that is what I like. Okay. So in order for me to get free shipping, which I can't remember, I think it's like you have to spend $75 in order to get free shipping. If I'm wrong on that, I'll list it on the screen below. But I ended up purchasing one of the travel size fragrances in Torn. And so when you purchase a travel size fragrance, you get a little travel size pouch that comes in a little plastic bag. And then it's like this cloth material, and you have Henry Rose in black, so you can keep your fragrance in there. This is the box, and then this is your fragrance. As you can see, I've already used this because how was I going to film this and do a review if I didn't actually use the fragrances? I love that the travel fragrance has a substantial, sturdy spray. That is super important for me. I hate when companies give you a travel size spray and they skimp on the actual nozzle. It's just a pain. If you know, you know. So you put it in your little baggie and you can just put this in your purse. Keeps your fragrance protected without flying around everywhere. So I do love that. In the box, you also get a little pamphlet with all of the fragrances listed inside. There's some of their notes and what she categorizes. If the fragrance is a floral, citrus, yada, 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 which I will be using today to aid me in this review for you guys. You also get a little discount card where when you purchase the discovery set, where you will get $20 off a full-size fragrance. So kind of nice perks to this little discovery set, and I think it makes an amazing gift for somebody who is into, you know, clean brands and clean fragrances and all that. I think that this is like a nice little gift, this discovery kit, because then it comes with a coupon where they can go ahead and purchase whichever one they liked best in a full-size bottle. Okay, so there are 11 here, so let's go ahead and get started. The first one we're going to talk about, which is my favorite, is called Jake's House. I don't know who Jake is, but his house smells dang good, okay? She categorizes Jake's House as a clean fragrance. And just so that you know, all of her fragrances come in a travel size and a full size. The travel size fragrance is 0.27 fluid ounces. Her full size is 1.7 fluid ounces. Right now, those are the only two sizes that are available for each fragrance. The travel size fragrance is $35 and the full size fragrance is $120. So it is not cheap by any means. You are paying a pretty penny for these fragrances, but the ingredients in this is 100% clean, which is very rare to find in the fragrance market. So Jake's House she categorizes Jake's House as a clean fragrance. And I'm quoting this off the pamphlet because this is going to be a lot of information I'm going to throw at you, and I want it to be short and concise, okay? Jake's House is described on their website as a watery, clean freshness that encounters honey-eyed neroli for a light and clean, musky finish. That is the fragrance I'm wearing today. I'm just going to tell you right now, that is exactly what it kind of smells like. It is a very fresh, very clean fragrance, very soft. I think this is a crowd pleaser fragrance, okay? And here is the sample. You get these little vials that have the name of the fragrance on it. And the fragrances in these boxes are packaged as so. Kind of looks like a cigarette box, right? Which is not the reference I wanted to make because we're talking about clean fragrances, but here we are. I think this is super convenient. I love the way that this is packaged. It's easy for me to carry around, and it saves space instead of having like one of those boxes where they're all lined up next to each other. You guys know what I mean. I really love the way that this is packaged, but the way that they're packaged is in the exact order this pamphlet is going to give you the fragrances, okay? So, I love Jake's House. It is amazing. It is a very clean fragrance. It does have a little bit of that honey, watered down essence. Now, when you look at the notes for this, okay, for Jake's House, it is, the top note is fresh marine, middle notes of neroli, peony, and jasmine, base notes of ambroxan and musk. Okay, I don't smell much of that musk, but I am gonna tell you that that fresh marine is gonna be the strongest note there, and it smells so good. I do get a lot of the neroli, a little bit of the peony, and just a little bit of the jasmine, okay? The ambroxan, I don't feel is a very strong note in this. And this one is the only fragrance I'm going to talk to at length because it is my favorite fragrance. It's the one that I've worn the most, and I feel like it's the one I have the most experience with. Moving right along, Dark is Night. I'm just going to go ahead and say the names of these fragrances are so unique, and I think that they're very, very nice. For some reason, I don't know, I'm drawn to the names. I love that she puts so much thought into the name of each fragrance. So, Dark as Night is considered to be a sensual fragrance. And according to her website, it is described as the woodiness of patchouli blends with the richness of vanilla bean for a decadent finish. Now, notes for Dark as Night is top note is green grass, middle notes are velvety, vetiver, freesia, base notes of patchouli and vanilla bean. Now, Dark as Night, to me, it's definitely a sensual fragrance, but I feel like this to me is more like a men's fragrance. I can see a man wearing this. All of her fragrances are unisex, so, and you can combine them in case you guys didn't know, kind of like Jo Malone. But yes, this to me smells like a men's fragrance. It is sensual, it's warm to me. I really get a lot of that patchouli and woodiness in this. This is absolutely divine. I may get this one for my husband. We'll see. He has to smell it though, because he's very particular with his fragrances. Let me get my water out of the way. All right, the next fragrance is gonna be Smith. Smith is another favorite of mine, and I'm gonna correct myself. I know at the beginning I told you guys that these little boxes come packaged in the order listed in the pamphlet. It's not actually. They are split up in between her warm fragrances and her fresh fragrances. So if you only purchase one of these boxes, it's $28. If you purchase the full Discovery set, it's $45. So speaking of Smith, this one is described as a bright fragrance. And I've got like these little papers here. This is another one of my favorites. This one is described on her website as crisp green apple. It's rounded with watery notes and sheer white woods for a bright finish. I really get a lot of that apple. That green apple, oh, it smells amazing. But when we're talking about notes, we've got top notes of Granny Smith apple, watery notes with melon, pineapple, sorbet. I do get that melon in there. Middle notes of apricot nectar, star jasmine, and white tea. Base notes of sheer white woods, sandalwood, layered musk, and amber. So this one has a lot of different notes. It is more of a, to me, although it is a bright fragrance, I think it's a very complex fragrance because of all the notes. But this is definitely one of my favorites in the entire line. And it is a very bright fragrance. I do have to agree with her. Now, when you see what these fragrances are categorized and other websites like Credo Beauty, Nordstrom, stuff like that, you'll see that they categorize it a little bit different, and I am not using their categorization reference. I'm using Henry Rose's, you know, like categorization because it's her brand. So the next fragrance that we're gonna talk about is Torn. Now Torn is the one that I purchased a travel size of because I heard it pairs really well with Jake's House. And if you like Jake's House, chances are you're gonna really like Torn, okay? Torn is considered a spicy fragrance, and she describes it as the richness of vanilla bean blends with the earthiness of vetiver roots to create an aroma that's both spicy and floral. Absolutely. This is definitely a spicy floral fragrance. It is so good. As a matter of fact, Torn obviously is one of my favorites. This one, to me, this is what this is what Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman smells like. It is a beautiful, balanced, spicy floral. That is not easy to do. A lot of the times when you get a spicy floral, the spiciness tends to overthrow the floral. I feel like this is super balanced. I love this fragrance, and I am so happy I got the travel version. So notes for this, you have top note of freesia, McGrath, middle notes of rose, violet, and jasmine, and then we've got base notes of sandalwood, musk, patchouli, vanilla bean, and praline. No wonder I like it. There's freesia in this, and freesia is one of my favorite floral notes. Oh, Torn is amazing. I have not layered these fragrances, so I won't be talking about that in this video, but Torn is definitely one of my favorite fragrances. Top notch. Moving right along to Fog. Now Fog, I'm gonna just go out and tell you, this is not one that I like. Again, fragrance is a subjective opinion, okay? So you guys may love Fog. Fog is considered to be an earthy fragrance, and she describes it as the lightness of vetiver wood, which is cut with a soft musk to create a perfectly balanced freshness. Okay. So Fog reminds me of something in my childhood, and I can't remember what that is. If it ever comes to me, I'll put it on the screen. But there's something in my childhood that smelled like this, and I'm not a fan. But those of you who like earthy fragrances, you're gonna love this, because I feel like that's a very accurate description of Fog. And notes for Fog are as follows. Top note of Magette, fresh citrus, middle notes of white woods, magnolia, and then we've got base notes of vetiver, sandalwood, amber woods, and musk. This is 1000% an earthy fragrance. But I feel like what really shines here are definitely the woody notes and the musk and amber. I feel like that's what I mostly get with Fog. It's not a bad fragrance, it's just not my personal preference. So, moving right along to Flora Carnivora. This one is absolutely divine, because you guys know that I love a good floral fragrance. And this one is described as a floral. Her description is bright orange flower meets soft jasmine, tuberose, and earthy vetiver for a floral finish. This one is so good. So good. To me, this is my perfect floral fragrance. I love this, and this is one of my favorites in the collection. I will definitely own a full-size bottle of this at some point. I think that if you love florals, you're gonna love Flora Carnivora. Let's get into notes. Top notes of orange flower water, absolute Tunisia, Neroli Blanc, middle notes of jasmine absolute Sambac, tuberose accord, and then we've got base notes of cedarwood Texas, vetiver oil Haiti, and we have opulent musk and amber. This is a very complex floral, and it smells amazing. It has tons of notes, but just divine. Next, we've got Windows Down. This one is described as a citrusy fragrance. Windows Down is described as a bright grapefruit that encounters honey-eyed neroli and soft Earl Grey tea for a light and floral finish. This one is another good one. And it is a soft citrus floral. Notes for this one is neroli, grapefruit, bergamot, moss, orange flower, and soft Earl Grey tea. You get that bergamot there. If you guys are a fan of bergamot, you are gonna love this. And I feel that the grapefruit and the neroli, Windows Down, is so good. Again, another one of my favorites. And that is the problem I encountered with Henry Rose. I liked most of the fragrances. There was only a few that just weren't my jam, and I'll let you know which ones those are as we get to them. The next one is called Last Night. And this one is described as smooth, with top notes of peach and bergamot, middle notes of jasmine and white woods, and base notes of patchouli, musk, and amber woods. She describes Last Night as a fresh floral notes come together with musk and patchouli to create a smooth, woody effect. So, Last Night, it smells nice, but it's not one of my favorite from the lineup. It smells good. It smells good. It's just not something I would personally wear. And to me, I find Last Night to be more of a masculine kind of scent. I get a little bit of the peach, but not too much of it. And I wish the peach note would have stood out a little bit more in this one. But again, it is a very nice fragrance. I definitely feel like I kind of envision a man wearing this fragrance, but I can see how a woman could pull this off. I'm just not that woman. But this smells nice. I'm not gonna lie, it smells nice. It's just not one of my must-have in the lineup. The next one definitely is a must-have for me. This one is called Queens and Monsters. And this one she describes as being rich. Her description of this fragrance is the freshness and zest of petitgrain balances the fluid sensuality of sandalwood to create a woody aroma. Now, the top notes for Queen and Monsters is violet leaf, neroli, petitgrain, Middle notes are freesia and jasmine. Base notes are vanilla, cocoa musk, and sandalwood. This one is a must-have for me. It definitely is a rich fragrance, but I feel like Queens and Monsters is a very, very unique scent. I don't know of anything in my collection that smells like this. It is divine. And just so that you know, this clean line, the longevity of these fragrances, on point. They last just as long as my non-clean fragrances. To me, this lasts all day. They last just as long as my luxury fragrances. I love Queen and Monsters. That violet note is what stands out for me, and I love violet in a fragrance. Next, another favorite of mine, Sheep's Clothing. This is so amazing. This one she describes as a floral woody. The unexpected burst of pink peppercorn creates a perfect juxtaposition within the softness invoked from Turkish rose, absolute, and amber woods. I think that rose and peppercorn is what stands out in Sheep's Clothing. This is definitely one of those that I'm gonna have to have a full bottle of. It just smells so good. You're enveloped by the rose, and then that peppercorn starts to come out a little later. It's just delicious. Top notes are pink peppercorn and rose. Middle notes of Egyptian orange flower, Turkish rose absolute, and orris. Base notes of amber woods, amberette absolute, and musk. So good. This is definitely I can see Sheep's Clothing being a crowd pleaser. Love that fragrance. And the last and final fragrance here is Char. Char, she categorizes it as an amber woody, described as tonka bean absolute and Ivory Coast ginger blend with a hint of Moroccan orange flower to create a smoky, enticing cocktail of a fragrance. This one, when I hear the word char, I'm thinking smoke. I'm thinking fire. I'm thinking warm. And that is exactly what you get with Char. To me, Char is something I picture like, it's more masculine. But the notes for Char is top notes of South African tonka bean, Ivory Coast ginger, middle notes of Moroccan orange flower, Indonesian patchouli. Then we've got a base note of Haitian vetiver. Just gonna tell you right now, I don't know what any of those notes smell like, but this smells really good. I wouldn't necessarily think that I would want a full bottle of this, but a travel version of this, yes. I just think it's very warm, and I don't know, it's masculine in just the right way. But I truly see this like mixing really well with other fragrances. I think my husband may really like this, and I think I would like the way this would smell on him. Char is a good one. I really like Char. Okay, so quick synopsis of this overall brand. I love it. I have been testing these samples for 2 months. Longevity, whether it is hot or cold, remains the same. I think it is very strong. A little bit goes a long way. I find this fragrance line to be very comparable to my Louis Vuitton and fragrances, which are very strong and they last a very long time. A little bit goes a long way. I find that if you spray too much of this fragrance, it could be too much. It could make you a little nauseous, give you a headache, just because they are that strong. And I love that. I love that I can just spray myself once or twice and I'm good to go. And that smell will last all day. The Henry Rose line to me is just as good, if not better, than my luxury fragrances. I wasn't expecting that when I decided to dabble into this particular line. I was very surprised by the longevity of these fragrances. I mean, usually in the past when I have tried natural fragrances, you know, clean fragrances, I was always disappointed because the price tag was very high, but the longevity was very short. And I'm talking about maybe a 2-3 hour lifespan, you know? And it just wasn't worth it for me to pay so much money for something that really wasn't gonna last. I wanted both, you know? And if that's not something that, you know, you need, like for example, you know, if you're somebody who's very sensitive to smell and you prefer a fragrance that's not gonna last very long, then great. But I'm not in that camp. I'm in the camp where when I wear my fragrance, I want it to last all day. I want to get that full color story throughout the entire day. And I get that with this line. Henry Rose also has candles, body lotion, soap bars. So if you're interested in any of those items, you can also purchase it. They have other stuff offered on their website, but those are the ones that stand out to me the most. So I'm really excited to try their body lotion and buy one of their candles. I think that the aesthetic of the brand is very nice. I love the matte black with the white. I love that kind of simplicity, but it still looks luxury. And if packaging doesn't matter to you, again, great. But I'm in the camp that if I'm buying something, I prefer for it to be packaged nicely, especially if I'm paying top dollar for it. I do look forward to this brand expanding the sizes of their fragrances, because right now their largest size is a 1.7 fluid ounce bottle, which for regular standards it's kind of like buying like a small bottle of a perfume, you know what I mean? So I hope to see larger sizes in the future. Again, it's a fairly new brand, you know, they're slowly expanding, but you can really tell that Michelle Pfeiffer puts a lot of thought and effort into each fragrance that was created, from name to notes. I think that her hard work and perseverance and attention to detail really shows in each fragrance. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really tried to make it as quick as possible, considering there were 11 fragrances to talk about. But you will be hearing me talk about the Henry Rose fragrances for years to come, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use up some of my fragrances before I start purchasing some of hers, just because I don't want to have like an overabundance of fragrance. I kind of want to keep my collection small and niche, and in order to do that, you kind of really need to know what you like and what you want and what you're drawn to certain seasons of the year. And so that's what I'm kind of working on this year with my fragrance collection. All right, that completes this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Isabel112506. I post a lot of pictures of my beauty collection, my life, just things in general. So if you want to follow me there, you can go ahead and do so. But these are the only two platforms that I'm active on, is YouTube and Instagram. It's all I can handle for right now. Okay. Maybe in the future I will consider other platforms, but with that said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate your time, and see you next time. Bye.